This is Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
Good evening. Well, temperatures haven't topped the freezing mark in the last 24 hours, and we may get even colder tomorrow. We do begin tonight with Storm Watch team coverage for you. Chief Meteorologist Mike Alders in the Weather Center with a look at our wintry weather, and Adam Varahachikal is live on Longley Lane with more on the impact of these very slick roads. Mike, we'll start with you.
Well, I'll tell you, the temperature is already colder now than it was all last night. It was obviously a fairly cold night last night with snow falling in most all the areas, although the amount of snow that each area received really depended on what it was downwind of. If you're downwind of Pyramid Lake and downwind of Lake Tahoe, like they are down here at the Y, they had about a foot of snow in some places around South Lake Tahoe. Near a foot of snow up on Mount Rose, and about a foot of snow as you got out toward Antelope Valley. All of those right downwind or upslope of the flow coming across us. Now, this is what happened with this particular system here. It dropped on down right over us and is now way down here to the south. It's going to rotate around. So at this point, snow is no longer in our picture. What is in our picture at this point is some very cold temperatures. Today, our high was 29 degrees, and then some current temperatures at this point are even colder than that. Right now we're looking at 20 degrees right now here in town. Notice only 4 degrees in Ely and Eureka. Temperatures are going to be well below zero over there and likely to be in the low teens over here. Now, with all this cold air across the area and with roads that are still wet and frozen, that's going to create some real traffic issues out there. Adam Varahachikal drew the short straw today. We sent him out in these freezing conditions. Adam, how are the roads doing at this point? I mean, are people getting around without sliding around too much?
Well, Mike, here at least at Longley Lane, the roads here have been pretty slippery all day, and police are asking everyone to be extra careful, especially because an accident is not only an inconvenience, but it could be pretty costly.
Obviously, it's the first snow in the valley this year that has stuck to the floor, so folks are getting used to driving in the snow again.
People were getting reacclimated to driving in these conditions as some slipped around the road. The truck drivers were chaining up in South Reno, which they told me was surprising.
Quite a bit unexpected. I had no idea I was going to have to chain up, and I'll probably have to unchain in about 3 miles.
Other drivers were also taking precautions because they were trying not to be involved in accidents. Some weren't so lucky as they slid into barriers, sidewalks, and other cars. It's that really busy time of the year for places like the Top Gun Collision Center as they make repairs.
Around this time of year, it's usually typically bigger hits because of the ice and people losing control. So it's more than just the little rear end hits.
The big crashes we won't see for probably another 4 or 5 days because those are at the wrecking yards and they're still waiting for the insurance to get a hold of everybody else.
Estimators look at how bad the damage is on the vehicle and make the call on how much it could be. Top Gun says it handles the insurance claims for their customers and helps with either $20 toward the deductible or car rental.
Even with insurance, you have deductibles and rental cars, and we do try to help out with that, but sometimes we can't absorb it all.
If you don't have insurance, it gets pretty costly. Top Gun says an average repair costs around $1,500, but of course, it all depends on what happened.
Even a minor fender bender is probably over $1,000. I mean, it gets expensive, and then something bigger, I mean, anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 on a big rear end hit.
She suggests bringing the car in as soon as possible after an accident.
Sometimes the insurance won't cover that because if you tell them you've been driving it around when it's already damaged, then it makes things worse.
And of course, you can always check the latest road conditions by dialing 511 or head to our website at KTVN.com and click on the road conditions button at the top of the page. Covering Storm Watch live in Longley Lane, Adam Varahachikal, Channel 2 News.
All right, Adam, thank you. And remember, Channel 2 News is your source for Storm Watch continuing coverage when severe weather impacts northern Nevada and the Sierra. You can get the latest Storm Watch coverage on our website, KTVN.com, and on our Facebook and Twitter pages as well.